use to decorate cakes. I know that there are some wonderful recipes out there and I use them too, but when I'm going to decorate a cake where I'm going to do piping and roses and flowers and I need it to be sturdy, to be out in the elements if it's going to be an outdoor party, or just so that it can withstand any type of weather, or just sitting out before the party begins. So I'm going to show you that recipe because it's my go-to recipe when I'm going to use decorating with buttercream. Let's get started. So the things you're going to need are 1 cup of shortening, and I use a high ratio shortening, or Crisco is a really good shortening if you're in America. Just make sure that's a high ratio of hydrogenated oil. And then I'm going to use 2 sticks of butter, which makes 1 cup. So I've got 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of shortening, and I'm going to use 4 to 6 cups of powdered sugar, depending on how thick I want my buttercream to be. And then I'm going to use 2 to 4 tablespoons, again depending on how thick. If I'm going to do flowers, I want it be a little bit thicker, a little sturdier, and so I won't use as much milk, but I'll use more powdered sugar. And then extracts. Now you can use a vanilla, which a pure vanilla is great. I always use a vanilla or an almond, but I've kind of fallen in love with these amaretti types of flavors. This is rose, this is orange blossom, and this is lavender, and boy does it really make the flavors of the cake pop. So this is the general recipe, and let's get started. We're going to make this buttercream. Now before adding your butter, you want to make sure that your butter is at room temperature, what they call softened butter, not melted, not even slightly melted, because it's not going to give it that lift and that buttery thing that you're going to need when you beat it up. So what I always do is I sit it out for about an hour at room temperature, and then I take a fork and I see if I can stick it all the way through with ease and be able to pull it back out. If it does that, then it's ready to go. And then the shortening should already be softened. We don't really refrigerate shortening, so that should be at room temperature too. And I even let my milk sit out for a little bit before adding it because I want that at room temperature too. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how easy this is to make. So to start, what I did was I've already added the butter. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to beat this actually for about 2 to 3 minutes. So it gets almost changing color, almost to a white color. Now in America, our butter is not as bright yellow as in other countries. So you are looking for kind of an opaque, very, very light yellow when it's all mixed in. After 2 minutes, I'm going to start slowly adding in the shortening. So this is the color that you want to get to. Definitely a lot lighter shade than it was at the beginning. Now it's nicely whipped. And then we're going to slowly add the shortening. Now that it's mixed well, now's the time to start adding your powdered sugar. And I add a half a cup at a time for a variety of reasons. One is to make sure it's really well blended. And then secondly, so that it doesn't come right outside. If you add the powdered sugar all at one time, it's all going to squirt out at you. Sometimes I actually put a towel over the mixer just to protect that from happening when it gets the end. Now don't worry about the fact that it's going to start looking thick, almost to the point where you think it's not spreadable, because we're going to add the milk, and we're actually going to add some extract, and we're going to soften it up. But I'm going to get it to the consistency so it almost looks like a cookie dough consistency. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I ended up actually putting in 7 cups of powdered sugar because I'm making a pretty big batch. Of course, you can have this, you can put a half a cup of butter and a half a cup of shortening, and then 4 to 6 cups of powdered sugar. But I wanted it to be really, really thick, just like this. And now's my time to add the milk. I do want a thicker frosting because I'm going to be doing some flowers with this frosting. And I'm going to add a little tiny bit of milk. I don't add water because I don't want that H2O molecules, and I want the fat of the milk in it. And then I'm going to add some extract. And this is an almond extract that it's actually a syrup that I'm adding. All right, then I'm going to mix that up, and then I will show you what it looks like at the end. So our buttercream turned out beautiful. I whipped it for about 5 more minutes and got it this nice, beautiful consistency. It's so great because it holds up under pressure. And let me show you really quick how you can actually decorate a cake using this wonderful buttercream for decorating. So I have this in a bag. This is a number 18 tip. I'm just going to show you how easy it is to frost and to decorate with this icing. So I just love working with sturdy icing like this. That frosting with the shortening in it actually gives it some more stability. So it really makes it easier to decorate. Especially if you're going to do cupcakes, you need it to stand up like that. There's so many things that you can do with this frosting. So I hope that you guys really enjoy it, and we will see you next time. Thanks for joining me today.